Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from NBC News that was published on the 28th of August. And all I got to say is I love how they're trying to frame this. Look at the title here. Judge voids 50,000 absentee ballots, requests in Iowa County. The ruling marks an initial victory for Trump challenges to absentee voting procedures in 3 counties in Iowa, which is expected to be a competitive state. You literally had a Democrat filling out the request forms with all the voter personal information on them so that any Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry could pick them up because they're not going to be sent registered mail or anything like that. He just wanted to mass mail them out, could pick them up, put in the request for the fucking ballot, and then mail them out. And they're going to try to act like, oh, there's nothing fishy going on here. They literally caught him 50,000 fucking ballots, filling out all their personal information. You're telling me that the Democrats in Iowa weren't planning on going on the day that these ballots were showing up at people's mailboxes and having their Democrat activists maybe, commit a federal offense and grab them out of a mailbox? Bullshit, they weren't. They definitely were up to that. It doesn't take a fucking rocket surgeon to figure that shit out. Fucking scumbags. They are so desperate right now. And NBC News, instead of calling out the fact that this asshole, in the title, that this asshole, a Democrat, well, that's probably why, filled out these forms, which is shady as all fucking hell, you know that the fix was going to be in. And they're trying to be like, oh, nothing to see here. Anyway, let's get into the article. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A judge ordered in Iowa County Thursday to invalidate 50,000 requests for absentee ballots, agreeing with President Donald Trump's campaign that its elections commissioner overstepped his authority by filling them with voters' personal information. He doesn't think people can fill their own shit out. Oh, excuse me, talk about low expectations. Judge Ian Thornhill issued a temporary injunction ordering Lynn County Auditor Joel Miller to notify voters in writing that the forms should not have been pre-filled with their information and cannot be processed. Instead, they will have to either fill out new requests for absentee ballots or vote on election day. Okay, which should be the case to begin with anyways. They should be specifically requesting the absentee ballot forms. You shouldn't be mass mailing them, you Democrat shitbrick. They should be specifically requesting them. Then they should be filling them out themselves and doing whatever they need to prove who they are. You shouldn't be filling them out, making it so voter fraud could be rampantly committed. You cocksucking bitch. Wow, I didn't do nothing wrong. No, nothing at all. I was just trying to be helpful. What, helpful to the quote-unquote Democrat activists that would be fucking going from mailbox to mailbox? Getting everything ready to commit massive voter fraud in Iowa? Seriously? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. The ruling marks an initial victory for Trump's challenge to absentee voting procedures in 3 counties in Iowa, which is expected to be competitive in his race against Democratic nominee Joe Biden. They're part of an unprecedented legal battle involving dozens of lawsuits nationwide that will shape the rules of the election. Well, basically, the Democrats are trying to be shady as all fucking hell. They want it to be like Oprah giving out cars. Okay, mind you, she actually isn't giving them out, and you end up paying thousands of dollars in taxes. But they want to be like, you get a mail-in ballot, and you get a mail-in ballot, and you get a mail-in ballot, and you're conflating mail-in ballots with absentee ballots on top of this. When it comes to the left and Democrats, that's exactly what they're doing. Excuse me. Anyway, Republicans said the ruling would hold a rogue auditor accountable, enhance voting security, while outraged Democrats called it an act of voter suppression. Well, you actually had a rogue person doing this. Miller said he would abide by the order, pledging to void the returned requests and send out new blank forms to voters next month, which he's going to mass mail again. He's a little fucking sleazebag. At issue was Miller's decision to send absentee ballot request forms to 140,000 voters in July that were already filled with their personal information, including names, dates of birth, and most significantly, voter identification numbers. Yeah, So basically, he's creating the environment for mass voter fraud and then going, I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm innocent. It was just an innocent little mistake. I was just trying to help the voters. Bullshit. You were trying to help rig a fucking election, you cockgoblin bitch. You got caught. You should be criminally investigated. The fucking DOJ should be looking into this shit. Because the only reason to fill it out with their voter numbers and everything else is to make it easy for people to stuff ballot boxes. I mean, this is ridiculous shit. Miller, a Democrat, has said his goal was to make it easy as possible to vote absentee during a pandemic as the virus spreads uncontrolled across the state. Yes, and the governor specifically said not to do it, and he still fucking did it. He just didn't think he would get caught. He should be criminally fucking investigated. There should be an investigation and go like on the note of voter fraud and just criminality here. This is shady as all fucking hell. Voter, which I love this, virus spreads uncontrolled across the state. It's numbers are going down and they're trying to be like, virus is spreading uncontrolled. Okay, deaths have dropped dramatically. People aren't dying left, right, and center. Infection rates have dropped dramatically. People aren't getting infected left, right, and center. Keep pushing your bullshit, asshole. Voters had to review, sign, and return the forms to request ballots that will be mailed beginning October 5th. Okay. And they were already filled out, meaning that anyone could have signed them and said they were that person. About 50,000 requests have been returned in the Democrat-leaning county, which is Iowa's second largest and is recovering from a derecho that devastated the region August 10th. The phone system for the county elections office remained out of service on Thursday. How fucking convenient. They get caught doing shady fucking shit and the phone's off the hook. How fucking convenient. Oh, there ain't shady shit going on. He fucking takes the phone off the hook after getting caught. Nothing going on there. Thornhill ruled that Miller's mailing violated a clear directive from Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate, who told the county officials in July that absentee ballot request forms mailed to voters must be blank in order to ensure uniformity. I think he also said it so that there would be less chance of fraud. I think he did say that. I could be wrong. Absentee voting, in which voters send their ballots by mail or drop them off at county offices, has become popular during the coronavirus pandemic as a way to avoid the risk of crowded polling places. Yet you can go to fucking Walmart, you can go to Home Depot, you can go to any fucking place like that and wait in fucking line. They don't want you to fucking do it when you go to vote, though. That should tell you there's shady shit going on. They're fine with you taking to the streets, looting, rioting, burning shit down, trying to kill people, shit like that. Waiting in line at fucking Walmart, they're fine with, but you can't fucking vote. You need an absentee ballot. That should tell you that they want a fucking massive voter fraud initiative to happen, that they're planning for one. It should give you a raise, major red fucking flags. When they got issue with, they don't have issue with those things, but they have issues with you going to vote. Seriously. And I love this one. It led to record turnout during Iowa's primary in June, which makes you wonder how legit the results were. Just saying. But weeks later, the Republican-controlled legislature passed a new law to make such voting harder. It blocked auditors from using their database to fill in voters' 4-digit voting identification numbers, which few know and are routinely left blank on the forms. And they are left routinely blank because that's something you should know, because it is the one way that with these absentee ballots, they're able to verify who the fuck you are. And it's not something that's common fucking knowledge. But if you fill it out on the form for someone, okay, supposedly force that person, the only one that really benefits from it is someone looking to commit voter fraud. Because now they have the means to literally be able to send a fraudulent fucking request in. And they're trying to be like, oh, there's nothing shady here. Bullshit. That's why the Republicans said, no, whoa. You're going to use this. You're going to be shady fuckers. And they're trying to play it like, oh, well, the people would know it. Low expectations. They can easily get that number. They can request it. Instead, the law requires auditors to contact voters by email or mail to have them correct mistakes themselves. Supporters argued that requiring voters to fill out their forms was a step to make absentee ballots more secure. Supporters argued that requiring voters to fill out their forms was a step to make absentee ballots more secure. Yes, it is. That's why the left is against it. That's why the Democrats are against it, because it makes it more secure and they can't commit voter fraud. They can't do what this little shitbrick tried to help create a situation for it to happen, where you have all these absentee ballot requests going out that have all the information they need to commit massive voter fraud, where they could just be collected the day that they're put in the mailbox and create a situation where we're going to have voter fraud. That's what was going on there. It doesn't take a fucking rocket surgeon, as I said, to figure that one out. Miller and elections commissioners in Johnson and Woodbury County said contacting voters who leave the information blank would have been too burdensome and potentially disenfranchise people. So they mailed the forms with that information already filled in after they were told not to. So you get all these Democrat fuckwits going against a state law, filling out the information themselves. Where's the criminal investigation? Where is them getting charged with something? They're literally setting up the grounds for massive voter fraud. Why aren't their asses getting nailed to a fucking wall? And this idea, well, people will be disenfranchised, so they can't answer an email or a letter that says you didn't fill out your voter ID number? And then remedy that situation? Seriously? And they're trying to contend that the law did not block them from doing so. The law literally says, you shall not do this. Then you do it. And you're trying to say that it didn't say you couldn't do it. The Democrats are fucking smoking crack if they think this shit's going to fucking fly. Well, the law, even though it says it, it doesn't say it. This is fucking retarded shit. Trump's campaign and state and national Republican Party groups filed lawsuits against the three counties, seeking to invalidate all forms returned in response to the mailings. They warned that any ballots cast in response to the mailings could be challenged later. And they're right. Because there is no actual proof that the person who cast the vote in that person's name is actually that person, because they didn't know their own voting number. It was handed to them. There was no verification if they were, if it was put on a later date. Thornhill's ruling, issued after he heard arguments Thursday, is the first so far. Another hearing is set for Friday in Woodbury County, where 14,000 of the absentee ballot requests have been returned. A hearing in the Democratic stronghold of Johnson County, where thousands of more have been returned, is planned for next week. They're freaking the fuck out, because I'm telling you, these things were already returned. Go and check with each individual person. Go to every one. Oh, excuse me. Okay, in Woodbury County, go to every one of those 14,000 people and find out how many of them actually sent the request back. I got a feeling more than a few didn't. But they wouldn't do a follow-up like that, because then it would expose that this was fucking voter fucking fraud at its finest about to happen. Do that with the 50,000 people. Seriously. Thornhill, appointed by Democratic Governor Chet Culver in 2009, ruled that the Trump campaign and Republican groups had legal standing to bring the case, and I'm sure the Democrats are pissed that a Democrat-appointed judge ruled that. I'm pretty sure they're fucking fuming. He found that they demonstrated a likelihood of being harmed, noting that not all Iowa counties have the money to send out pre-filled absentee ballot requests. Let's just ignore the fact that it makes it so easy that anyone and their mother can fucking mail in the ballot request and actually get a ballot sent out. Let's just ignore that. He found that Trump and the GOP would likely prevail on the merits, saying Miller's decision to populate the forms sent to voters went against Pate's or Patty's directive and the intent of the new law. Yeah. Pate will say. It does. They literally thumb their nose at the new law and then go, well, it didn't say that we couldn't do that. That should go to show you how fucking shady this whole situation is. They literally ignored the law and filled these out, and then you've got a bunch of ballots being returned. I say they should have to go to every one of those return ballots and specifically talk to the person and make sure that they sent it back. And I bet you if they did that, okay, with the 50,000 or the 14,000 or the other counties' numbers, if they went and did that, I'm telling you right now, a bunch of those people did not fill out the forms, okay, and send them back. How much do you want to bet on that? It's such a sure thing. I'd bet $50. I would bet $50 that you would find people that did not send in the request for the absentee ballot. Hell, I'd bet $100. Fuck, I'd probably bet 1,000. Because this is clearly shady shit going on. I mean, this is ridiculous. Thornhill acknowledged that extraordinary remedial measures will have to be taken under his order, but that Miller's words and actions show he was aware of the risk he was taking. Yeah. He said voters will not lose their right to vote and still have time to acquire absentee ballots in another matter. Yeah. He tried to rig the election, got caught, and he fucked it for everybody else. The people who might legitimately need absentee ballots. The Secretary of State has alleged that the mailing violated a law intended to protect personal information stored in government and corporate databases and asked prosecutors to investigate. Well, good. Good. I hope they find a conspiracy of massive fucking voter fraud in the process. I would love for that to happen. I would love for it to happen. It argues that Miller had no legitimate purpose to access voters' identification numbers and to share them with a vendor that processed the mailings. Oh, that makes it even shadier. Attorney General's office spokesman Lynn Hicks said the office hasn't decided whether or not to open an investigation. Now, it makes you wonder, is the Attorney General a Democrat? I'm guessing they might be. If there's no investigation, you know they're a Democrat. Assistant Lynn County Attorney Alina Wolford argued that the state's directive was invalid and not binding on Miller, who has broad authority. You will respect his authority. Who has a broad authority to administer county elections. Yes, but the state law supersedes his bullshit. The state defines how the elections are fucking run, not him. They said you can't do this, and he fucking did it anyways. And you got this county attorney trying to defend this shit. So you know this county is cooked. You know that these motherfuckers are trying to rig the election in that county in Iowa and several others. Shady fucking shit. You literally have this bitch who's supposed to represent the people of that county defending a voter fraud scheme. That's what this amounts to. Holy shit. She called the mailing an attempt to expand voting access during the pandemic and said Republicans had not shown any injury, saying their argument that it could encourage voter fraud was hypothetical. You literally give them everything they need to commit voter fraud, and you're telling me that people aren't going to commit fucking voter fraud? Holy shit. Let's just ignore the fact that the state law also said it was illegal for him to fill out the fucking things. But hey, you're nothing to see here. Wow, this bitch is definitely a Democrat operative like this fucking asshole. They are so desperate. They're trying to rig the fucking shit. They get caught and they're like, oh, nothing to see here. We weren't doing anything wrong. No. Fucking assholes. She warned that an injunction would hurt voters who are expecting to receive absentee ballots and taxpayers who would be forced to pay for additional notifications to be sent. Well, first off, he was sending out those ballots to every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry. Those people who would be expecting them specifically requested them. Okay, would have to specifically request the form for an absentee ballot. This bitch is shady because it ain't hurting the voters and expecting to receive an absentee ballot. Well, mass mailing without people asking for them, the forms to get an absentee ballot is going to cause massive voter fraud. And the people who would be expecting would have specifically requested the form. This is shady shit. Wow, they're trying to rig the fucking election in Iowa. Because they know it's a fucking state that they could lose. This is so fucked up. It's a battleground state, and they're going to fucking rig the shit. Or at least try to. They get caught, and they go, oh, we didn't do nothing. Nothing to see here. No, we're perfectly fucking innocent. Fuck you. We weren't doing nothing wrong. We were trying to stop disenfranchised voters. By just massively sending out everyone and their mother a fucking pre-filled out request for an absentee ballot that could literally be signed and filled out by anyone. Yeah, okay. Sure. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.